Okay, so since we already 11:36 now, so I will continuing again with the next chapter, which is this is the last chapter. Okay, so chapter 9 related to risk controlling, okay, controlling the risk. Okay, so previously in chapter 8, we actually done on, okay, identifying and assessing the risk. Okay, now we are moving to risk controlling, where we are deciding what we should actually do with this previous activity. Okay, so usually in risk management, okay, knowing the risk is not enough, so organization must decide whether to avoid, to transfer, to reduce, and accept it. So this is four type of control that we might be implement depending on how factor, what factor, okay, we must deciding either to use one of these type of controlling. Okay, so what we are going to learn in this chapter, okay, by the end of this chapter, we should be able to recognize the different risk control strategies. So I, like mentioned previously, we have accept, we have avoid, and so on. Later on, we are going to see what four type of control risk. Okay. We're also trying to learn how the evaluation or evaluate a control onwards implementing using cost effective analysis. Okay, so we have cost effective analysis, okay, based on some financial, okay, factor we have, and what the consequence when we do this kind of control. Okay, another objective is to understand that control must be mainly continuously, okay, maintain and continuously update, okay, or review, which is not only install once and we forget. So not install and forget, but we have to update lah, monitor, update, and so on. Okay, finally, we are going to see some management approach, risk management approach. One of them is Octave. We also have something related to Microsoft Risk Management, ISO, ENISA, and so on. So we are going to see this kind of type of risk management, risk management control. Okay. Okay, so organization, okay, so the interaction on risk control, so organization need to security because business process depend heavily in the information system. So in current digitalized era, so information is one of the important asset in the business process. Okay, so if the system are unavailable, okay, which is affecting the availability, or data is corrupted, okay, the in term of the integrity, or even the sensitive information is leaked, confidentiality, business operation can be disrupted. So we are actually control, okay, based on the CIA. Okay, our control is based on this CIA principle. Okay, so it based on this risk management, okay, to cater CIA, it also help identifying, okay, the what is going wrong to the asset, the organization information, and then we can estimating the impact and also apply the suitable control. So this is how we are going the process of risk assessment, okay, risk management. Identify, then we do some like estimating the impact, the consequence, and now we are discussing on how applying the suitable control. Okay. So some quote by the Nigel Wilson, this is important because when it says security is not a product, okay, it is ever evolving integration and of solution and process based on open industry standard, okay, proven methodology and best practice. So what we can say here, Okay, security is important because many organizations mistakenly believe that buying security tool, okay, is enough or secure to their environment or their properties. Okay, but security is not just simply using the product or purchase the product, like we have physical product, network product, okay, but we have continuously integrate the people, okay, not only the peripheral, physical peripheral, we also must include all the other asset, okay, like we have previously, people, processes, procedures, standard, best practice. So it's comprehensive. Okay. So for example, okay, if we purchase firewall, which is one of the tools or product, but when we doesn't have a skilled people to manage or configure correctly, or even we doesn't have update regularly, okay, monitor regularly, so it's actually not fit the purpose lah on our security environment. Okay. So how we deal with the risk today? So risk management today use several layers, which not only one layers, two layers, but they have a few several layer. Okay, from the basic of tenant and element. Okay, we are using principle of CIA. So we know what we have to protect: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And we also have custom or self something related of the self model, okay, used on our system. Okay, of the self, maybe we custom our own mechanism, defense mechanism. Okay, and we might use the some available framework procedure that we integrate into our organization. Okay, for example, we have framework on FAIR and IST. So this is what I call mostly used. Okay, to 7K principle or framework, and then we have Octave. Octave is one of the famous risk management framework, and SO, okay, and this one NIST lah, this one. Okay. So we are going to see some of this later, and we also use some ISO standard. Sorry, 270 is ISO standard, SOC, okay, SOC, and so on. So at the end, we also have something related to maturity model. This one is helping the organization to understand whether their risk practice are still reactive or proactive. Already proactive lah, because currently we know the attackers even have update their attack technique and so on. So it's must be adapt or adaptive to this kind of environment. Okay, the threats or attacker adopt, evolve, same to our security defense mechanism should be also updated. Okay, it's not static. Okay. So then the last layer of this risk level, okay, we have audit. So audit can help the identifying the gap between the current practice and required practice. So we have our current practice installed, implement, but in the real world, is it still enough to cater all these current what I call attack and so on incident? Okay, so this is the layer of risk management. Okay, you have to go by layer lah. It's better to implement each of this layer compared to have one layer installed and we install and forget lah. Okay. Okay, so we have related to maturity model known as RMMM or risk management maturity model, which actually these are RMMM measure how developed and organization risk management practice. Okay, so there are 8 core, which is risk context, the culture. Okay, we have previously duplication, asset, okay, assessment. Okay, and there's also we want to have control, okay, and also reporting. So we need to review, okay, the current practice. Is it obsolete, or we can inject another new what we call control and so on lah. Okay, so these areas show that the risk management not only on technical part, okay, it's also involve the culture, okay, which is what the practice behavior on the current company, organization, the governance, the management, communication, okay, monitoring and continuous improvement. So we have to install and update lah, not install and forget. Okay. So next, okay, they have okay, the common level for risk maturity. We have this 5 level. More likely we have basic until advanced. Okay. So for the first one is very basic, which is usually informal. Okay, sometimes it's informal lah. So minimum or no illness and understanding, no process in place, just informal. And then we have basic. Okay, the second level, formal process exists but inconsistent. Okay, and then we have third level, where is emerging when care risk management become more consistent across the organization. So means that this organization take serious on managing the risk. Okay, and then we have the more high level, which is mature. Okay, matured, which they are fully implemented and also reviewed for improvement. So mostly big company or sensitive information, sensitive what I call, we have CII previously, right? CII for what you call government lah. Critical CII ke CII? Critical domain lah, where we have to take care our security lah, management seriously. So this might be this level lah. Maturity level is mature. Okay, the last level is advanced. In advanced level, where risk management become value driver. So support case strategy decision making instead of being treated only in compliance activity. Means that they are use this procedure properly. They not only like a written document, okay, or compliance, but they use this document properly for their decision making. Okay. So another, we also have score, okay, on overall assessment level and also rating. So we score from 1 to 100, okay, and this is how they categorize the level, okay, based on the score. Okay, so we have poor, this one 1 to 20. This is very poor risk management maturity. Okay, but when we have advanced here, so this is proactive and the security is daily decision. Instead, they are taking serious on their asset, security and so on. Okay, so the important point here is that the maturity is measurable. Okay, which we know we have a level of our current level of security implement in our organization. We know which level we are. Okay, so management can use this score that to identify the gaps and prioritize the importance of handling the risk. For example, if the organization score low in communication and reporting, so they have to produce something to make the score higher. For example, they can use something dashboard for monitoring. Okay, they can do some active reporting procedure and so on. So this is how they can level up their current level of maturity. Okay. So another, what is your security level? Okay. So we are having in terms of category the level basic, progressing and advanced. Okay, which are currently your organization level or maturity level rate lah. So is it just a basic level? You are implementing, okay, ongoing, and or you proactively and use in your daily base decision. Okay, so we have another part here is the factor. Okay, so we have category on the philosophy. For the philosophy of the basic organization maturity level means that necessary evil. I mean, they are more likely a small, unskilled staff, and they react to the incident compared to the highest level or advanced level here. So the cybersecurity is part of their organization culture. So they are seriously implement cybersecurity to their system or their daily uh, operational. Okay. So the key idea that the maturity security is depend on a few factors. Not only physically, we have also people, people who are actually currently manage or responsible to this security, cybersecurity control or management lah. Okay, so we have CISO. Okay, we have CISO, COO, COO lah, operational operation, right? CISO to CO. So this is more active lah because it's direct to CEO, the one who fully VIP lah on the organization, right? So you can also the process how they do the process management on their security alert and so on. Okay. So in advance, they are more formal recognition, and this one in basic informally. So we have technology. What are technology level they implement? Okay. So next is we have information security, infosec maturity model. So this model show us that the model maturity is moving from reactive, okay, react to the incident, to the proactive. So in reactive case here, we can say some organization just doing blocking and tackling. Means that they only respond to problem when they happen compared to compliance. Okay, this one is focused on meeting the regulation and standard. So we have implement. Okay, they are already implement the standard and they try to meet all the regulation. Okay, list in the standard. Okay, and then we have risk-based approach. This one more to proactive. Okay, so defend in depth means that, okay, they use the this document, okay, for functional decision making in their daily basis operation. Okay, so what we can say from reactive to proactive means that we react to incident, okay, at the reactive level. When we come to the matured advanced maturity models, okay, we understand and manage the risk before the incident occur. So this is how from basic into the we have here, right, advanced organization implementing the maturity level in their company. Okay, so the basic ISO, okay, framework or control, we can use ISO 27001 K2700 tu lah. So K is the security, cyber security. Best what you call risk management is 2. Okay. So this control actually provide the information security control, okay, the document. It actually help the organization mapping the security practice to the organization objective. Okay, so when you go, okay, macam mana tu? Tak boleh pula. Sikit lah. Okay. Okay, so we have objective here. Okay, control objective and the requirement. So we try to meet all the requirement okay, list in this lah. Okay, so important point that the control should not be selected randomly. Okay, so we have to ensure that this control can support the business need. Okay, the legal. So we have also in terms of legal requirement. Okay, the compliance and also physical security, human resource security. Okay, also the important thing is business continuity management. Okay, so we have to ensure that all the contract area can be assessed for maturity. So this one lah. Sorry. Okay, so we have this maturity scorecard. Okay, can be used to see which part of the adjective is already complied to our system, to our organization. Okay. So another example here, we can have a score chart here. Okay. They are using the visual maturity score using scorecard or radar card. Radar card, which this help, okay, for management, okay, like a dashboard, can see quickly which area are strong and which area are weak. So when we have the strong area, we try to maintain what we have. Okay, but when we have some area which is weak, for example, which one is weak? Asset management is weak here, right? This one. Sikit. Which one lagi? Mana yang one? This one. Okay, development, maintenance and so on. So we have to focus on this area lah. And there are the things we have to consider in terms of the okay, financial and also lah, and the skill okay, of our people. Okay, for example, okay, for security policy may be strong. Okay, policy may be strong here. Okay, incident management is low. This one. Okay, which is level 1 level 1. Okay, for example, in this one, incident management is level 1. So by seeing this radar, so it's easy for management, okay, to have better decision making lah, compared to have all the technical report. Okay, sometimes we need to have a high level visual summary for decision making. So this is important for management. For technical, maybe we can use the comprehensive technical report and how we can assess that weakness lah. Okay. So example, we can also something related to okay, the map metric, okay, or heat map lah. Okay. So we can have business unit 1 and 8, and then they are having the objective here. Okay. So this can show the weakness across the business unit and security function. So which one is low? One here. Okay, so then they can try to improve. Okay, what solution they can improve on this one. Okay, So for example, we have business unit weak in incident response, okay, mostly in 1, 3, 5 and 6 here, okay, which is the organization need to focus, okay, on training, okay, do some more documentation, okay, execution the procedure and exercise on incident response, so they can directly focus on this for unit for incident response. Okay, so by using this at the end of the day, using this visual metric, so it support, okay, to improve instead of, okay, in some area, okay, we have implement all the same control. For example, control for incident response, okay, for unit A1, 2 until 8 are similar incident response, but you have to like emphasize in 1, 3 and 5, 6, okay, to implement other way lah, other control to improve their maturity model. So you have as a management and also security manager, you have to take care on this part. Okay. So next, so this is level definition on this part. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, right? So we have also 5 lah. Previously we have 5. Okay, so actually from 1 to 5, we can see the evolve of the security process. So what we can say in first here level, in the first level, more likely they are process unorganized, okay, depend on individual effort, okay, instead on we have in level 2, okay, we this one process repeatable, okay, some are using the same what you call access control or others, so might be update lah, okay, to have more specific focus on that area. Okay, so we have level 3 here, they implement, okay, documentation standard for their organization. Okay, level 4, we have more to monitoring, okay, they evolve from unorganized, they are having the control but repeatable level, okay, some they use all in the same unit, okay, all control in the same unit. And then after that, okay, level 3, they having more formal documentation, okay, standards, okay, implement some standard in their control. And level 4, they update, monitor, okay, the information security process. And for level 5, actually the most matured level, okay, which is focused on optimization and also continuous improvement. Okay, so in this security maturity level, actually organization, okay, not only implement the policy, but also they need to measure whether the policy are work, okay, on their organization, and they need to improve over the time. So not only static lah, static, right? Static, this one static maybe. This one lah, static. They implement, but this one informal, okay, informal. Formal. But this one, okay, the level are more reactive, okay, proactive, updated every new things happen, or they like discover, okay, new control and so on, they might access and update their control. Okay, so that's the maturity level. Okay, we know we have to make sure, okay, from okay, level up our maturity level lah. when we do auditing, maybe we in level 2, okay, you have your implementation on security management, okay, but you didn't improve or monitor, update and so on. So you have to ensure that you have the more level up, okay, on your maturity model to at least you have four lah. Okay. So again, next part actually related to what strategy type or control strategy type that you can choose on some incident happen. Okay. So is it okay to continue? Boleh lagi maybe
Boleh doktor, boleh continue.
just 30 we take 5 lah. Okay. So okay, when we have like incident happen to the organization, what thing or what control that may choose for that kind of attack or incident happen. So we can choose the control in 4 type. Okay, we can have avoidance here. So avoidance more likely to prevent exploitation of the vulnerability as much as possible. So this one before anything happen, you have avoid prevention, something like prevention. Okay, this can done using the policy, okay, training, technical control. So this you have installed, okay, previously before the attacking or incident happen. Okay, for example, if we know that using the USB can separate the malware, so USB might not be used in our computer system, for example. Okay, so currently most likely we use cloud lah, cloud sharing, right? Instead of current USB. Okay, and then we also have transfer. Transfer means that shifting from one to another process lah, one risk to another party or another process. Then we have mitigation. Okay, mitigation to reduce the impact of the risk occur, minimize. Okay. Then the last one, acceptance, that the organization understand the consequence and choose to accept the risk. So this one you have to calculate the cost and so on. Later on we are going to see one by one on this control type. Okay. So usually when it's come or to decide which one to use, which strategy to choose, is depend on the risk level, the cost, the business continuity need, and also risk appetite. Risk appetite later I will discuss on next part lah. Okay. So first control type is avoidance. So avoidance is actually, like I mentioned, preventing exploitation of vulnerability as much as we can. So we can use something related to policy. We can train and educate the user of application, the people. Okay. So we can countering the threats. Okay. Using some threat countermeasure, okay, and then we can also implement the technical control here, okay. So usually in avoidance is suitable when the risk is high. Avoid when risk is high. Okay, and then they want the organization want to prevent risky activity or condition. So this one. Okay, prevent any risky activity lah or consequence. Okay. So next we have transference. Okay, means that they shift part of the risk to another party, or we can say other process, okay, or organization. So not they didn't cater, but they try to outsourcing. Okay, so for example, they try to minimize on outsourcing the asset, Okay, for example, we currently use cloud service. Okay, we also can have the managed security services. Okay, out in the third party. Okay, so we have to remember, okay, transferring the risk is not done removing, it is not remove the accountability completely. Instead, if the company outsourcing the information or system, for example, we have a related system for payment process, right? This process you use some API, third party API, for example. Okay, so what happen if breach occur? Okay, so you have like, this is your service lah. Okay, one part is payment. Okay, and you try to minimize the risk by using third party API, for example, right? So when we transfer this to third party, when incident happen, right? Incident or attacker lah, attack this part. Still, okay, the company have to take responsibility, not remove the accountability on our side. Okay, so that's why doing the third party or outsourcing the third party, okay, we have to ensure that we have a careful agreement. Okay, so contract are clear. Okay, and also we have to monitor the vendor lah continuously. Okay, so that's the transfer. And next stage is mitigation, or next type is mitigation. So we try to reduce the damage caused when the vulnerability is exploited. Okay, so in this part, actually it accept the incident may happen. Okay, we know from the vulnerability assessment previously, threat assessment, it might be incident happen. Okay, but we, the organization already prepare on term of detecting, respond, recover, okay, incident recovery, and so on. Okay, so there are three important plan that might be used, okay, in the mitigation. This one, the famous, okay, plan, usually okay, in like having in organization, okay, this disaster recovery plan, okay, incident response, and also continuity plan. So I know all of you have seen this three, right, before, or even in your company you have seen or read all this one lah, if you're working okay, with the security company or your IT department have mentioned you on this plan. So within this plan, actually when you install this plan, it help, okay, the organization to reduce the downtime. Okay, we have a proper procedure when we take down our system. Okay, so we can also reduce the financial loss. Okay, most important is we want to maintain the trust after some incident have attack or happen to our company. So at least, okay, we have a proper business continuity plan, and it help to recover our the trust of the user lah or customer to the organization. So reputation of the company can be restored, okay, after some incident happen. Okay, so this is more what we call okay, information on each of these three important plan. Okay, we have description, example, when to deploy, and time frame. So we have a few like time frame here. For example, when you do Okay, incident response is actually a real-time plan. Okay, because we know we have all these real-time okay, attack, okay, going through to our environment or our company. Okay, so what okay, procedure we need to do on that kind of attack? So we have this incident response. Okay, we have also long-term uh, okay, plan. We can use this business continuity lah. So this one usually we can say something related to okay, this one okay, preparation step for activation for second data center. So what happen if we have a apa mirroring our data server lah and so on. So we have this plan. Okay, this disaster recovery, this one is more short term. Short term, restoring the system, okay, restoring the data after some incident or disaster happen. So the key okay, on this part is that they are different in terms of time frame. Okay, we have to ensure that every day instant we have this plan, instant response. Yes, this is short term lah. It's not like it can be rarely happen. This one long term. Okay, more to how we can actually ensure the continuation of the overall business when the disaster exists the RP. Okay, so you can read more on this for your ni lah, for your information. Okay, so last type of control, okay, you can the last resort lah, we can say right resort is acceptance. So acceptance means choosing not to implement additional control. Okay, we try to accepting the loss if it occur. So not we directly decide to accept this one, but we have to know some fact, okay, some what you call the information related to that incident. So this is not neglection of proper analysis, neglection of the control. Means that you just accept, okay, without doing some analysis. So you have to do the proper analysis. Okay. So for example, if we have some incident, okay, by protecting low value asset cost more than you accept the loss. So instead of this, for example, you have your computers, right? Computer in your organization. Okay. 30 computer have been infected. Okay, so by buying a new computer is more costly. So it's must maybe you accept that, but you have to get another proper plan lah how you can install. Maybe you just like change one part, the storage for example, for that. Okay, the storage CPU, bukan CPU apa, storage lah kan, of your computer compared to change everything. Okay, so you have to, okay, when you accept this one, you have to be documented, okay, all the plan, all the procedure, okay, acceptance procedure, and approved by proper authority. So if you just approve, you get approved by your manager, for example, but not by CEO, so it might have another question later. So must know the proper way lah, okay, proper way to accept, okay, do some documentation and need to have a proper approved by proper authority. Okay. This one. Okay, acceptance, you this month more to cost lah. Higher than the impact. Then impact. Okay, need to have the analysis. So not assume. Do the analysis. Okay. And proper lah. Proper documentation. Document and approval. Okay, proper approval. So since this acceptance is what you call, it might get affect in later decision, later. So this is some strategy. Okay, you have to do some analysis on this strategy lah. Okay, so example, organization must do the calculation and justification decision. So determine the risk. Okay, level of the risk, maybe it's up until 2, level 2. Okay, it's still okay lah. Okay, estimate the probability attack and likelihood. Okay, if this can repeated again, so is it just like every month? Okay, this can be occur, or maybe in the pattern after 6 years. So it's depend lah. Okay. So we also going to see some related document. Okay, like we have ARO here, annualized rate of acceptance, ARO lah. Okay, and also occurrence. Actually occurrence. Okay. Estimate the potential loss. Okay, you have go through the CBA. Okay, later on we are going to see what is CBA. Okay, evaluate the control using appropriate type of feasibility. Okay, you have to do your feasibility study lah. Okay, so decide the particular asset not justify the cost of protection. Okay, so what we can say in this slide, okay, we can say, okay, it's just that the risk acceptance is formal business decision, not doing nothing. Okay, not we accept without we do something okay, analysis on that acceptance. Okay, so it's take time also to accept this one. Okay, before this, I have mentioned risk appetite, right, or appetite. Okay, so this one is actually refer, okay, to amount and type of risk of organization is willing to accept. Okay. This one is actually perfect case security control because it will too expensive. Okay, for example, if we have previously mentioned, okay, the cost is expensive, then the effect, so it must you can use this one lah, accepted. Okay. So doing this, actually we want to balance security cost, okay, and also the usability, business need, and also possible loss. Okay, cost one of the main lah, cost, and then balance, okay, with the usability, and we want to ensure, okay, doing the acceptance, okay, can protect from possible loss if they exploit later in the next time. Okay. So next part actually related to residual risk, which mean they have some remaining, okay, risk after you have taken or implement some control. So still remaining risk that has not completely removed or shift or planned for. So we still have some residual on the risk. Okay, for example, you have installed the firewall, you implement the access control, doing the backup, okay, monitoring, implement the accuracy, still some risks remain. So this residual risk actually depend on asset, okay, the threat, and also the vulnerability. Okay, and also of course the effective of the safeguard, okay, or the mechanism, defense mechanism that you have implemented. So the key point here is that the security control reduce the risk, but it's rarely to remove the risk completely. So still, okay, we have done everything. Still, risk might be occur lah. Okay. So the issue in that's mentioned previously, okay, we try to okay, the goal is not to bring the residual to zero, okay, but we try to ensure that the risk is reduced to the level aligned with the organization risk appetite. So how much that you accept the risk, okay, from the previous implementation. Okay, so for example, if the decision maker understand and this remuneration risk, okay, they can formally agree with this to accept. Okay, so then we can say this residual has fulfilled the rule. So we have to ensure that the authority group have understand, okay, the remaining rules and agree to accept it. So then we know we have fulfilled the issue lah. Okay. So what we can say, this why risk communication is important. So then management know what risks are remaining. So technical team safe from the others consequence later. Okay. So, okay, when we do the risk management, okay, as mentioned, once we have implement the control, we actually need to keep updating. Okay, should be monitored and measure on going basis. So, okay, for example, we have the antivirus solution. Okay, so when something happen, okay, some new or 0-day attack happen. So we know that this signature of when we use signature based apa IDS for example or firewall, okay, antivirus technique. So the signature are outdated. So we know we have to update lah the current signature of virus for this antivirus. So we have to ensure that organization should measure the control effectivenessly and compare actual residual with the expected residual risk. So this one. Okay. Estimate the residual risk. Okay, we have to compare actual risk versus expected risk. Okay. Okay, for example, this diagram shows that we have residual risk. Okay, so for example, we cannot remove all the risks completely. So we have a large part here. So the large part, okay, total risk of information asset. And then we have safeguard or reduce the risk, okay, but remain portion exists in the residual. Okay, we have amount outdated and then we have this kind of one part, okay, mitigation. We have three part lah. This one, two, three. Okay, we have done the control, but they have remained some residual risk here. Okay. So we can say we can accept this one if this one the the community interest level this one lah, in term of decision making, the authorities understand and they accept this risk. So this one might be ignore lah, not ignore. We try to reduce from time to time. Okay. So this result is useful because it shows the risk management about reducing and align to the current appetite lah. Like we have appetite then risk appetite. Okay. So we accept this one, for example. Okay. So we cannot actually remove all the risk, but we try to minimize the risk aligned to what we accept. So this is happening in overall organization, not only on one organization, but every organization have like done or have influence to this one lah. Okay. So when we done all the 4 risk category, we have acceptance, we have transfer, we have mitigate. The first one is avoidance, right? So which one we should use or choose for our company? Okay. So when we do all what you call the analysis, okay, if the possible loss, okay, within the range of loss, okay, that the organization can absorb or accept, okay, so we can use acceptance. Okay, so means that the loss cost is within the range of losses we can accept, so do the acceptance. Okay, so however, okay, if the acceptance loss is higher, so expected cost of this one is higher, so you should consider the others lah. We have avoid, transfer, or mitigate. So just within the range you can accept, but you have to ensure that you are approved by the authorities. Not assume that you accept, do the what you can say the analysis, okay, thorough analysis, and then you can communicate with the management lah. And based on the risk appetite, okay, is it can be accepted by the management, so it can be accepted, and also within the loss, so you can use the acceptance. But the others you can use this one, okay, either this 3. Okay, so is it okay?
Yeah, okay, doctor.
Okay. So I think we try to finish the managing the risk first case. So now we have related to handling the risk on risk handling action point. Okay, what happened here? So this first chart actually guide the decision making on how you can choose the control. Okay. So first you may ask, okay, you are having the incident or threat, okay? So you can ask whether the system is vulnerable, okay? Then you can ask, this one, right? Sorry, this one, system design, is it vulnerable? Yes. If yes, is it can be exploited by the attackers? Yes or no, no risk lah. Okay. Next, consider whether the system vulnerable to attack. And then whether the risk, okay, this one, the risk, is it this one lah, whether the threat and vulnerability can absorb the risk, okay, right? Whether the risk loss exists, This one lah, the loss. Okay, this one. You have the vulnerability and threat exist. Okay, are you having the loss? Okay, so you have to do some decision here. Can be accept, do the acceptance. No, you have to go through another decision here. Okay, which is you have to select the others control. Which one is selected? Okay, either you have as avoid, transfer, or mitigate. Okay, this is what happened. So what we can say here, okay, this flowchart teach that this risk handling should be follow structured logic rather than do the assumption. Okay, so we have go through this all flow before we can accept, or if the loss is more than what we accept the range of money loss, we can go to another analysis. Okay, either you can do the avoid, transfer, and mitigation. So this is the structured way to handle the risk. So then you can choose whether it's suit for the decision. Okay, the next part is guideline for risk control selection. Okay, when vulnerability exists, okay, implement security control to reduce the likelihood okay, of exploitation. Okay, exploitation is possible. Okay, what happened is you have your vulnerability. Okay, previously you have the list of vulnerability, and this can be exploited. Okay, possibly exploited by the attackers. So you have to use layered control. Okay, we have layered control to minimize the risk. So we have a few layers lah, not only technical, but we have produced the other or use the other part of countermeasure. Okay, so the others possible things that you need to take into account is it the attacker potential gain is greater than the cost. Okay, so this one is related to the financial, not only financial, okay, but cost or effect on this organization. Okay, so then apply technical or managerial control. So this is related to the other three. Okay, for example, we have multi-factor authentication. Okay, but it increase the attacker effort lah. So means that you have a 3-layer authentication, login, email, biometric. Okay, so then they have difficult to attacker. Okay, so it's cost on term of the attacker, cost more lah for them to do the breach. But for us, okay, are we accept this for 3-way authentication and so on. Okay, for example, the others example transmission. Okay, we can implement, for example, in financial organization like e-commerce, okay, banking, we can use transmission limit lah. Okay, so this limit can reduce the loss of money and so on. So you have to handle it properly. Okay, the last part here is related to when the potential loss is larger. Okay, this one is still can be minimized. Okay, can be minimized, and then still can cater by technical and managerial control. Okay, like you can list use the what you call multi-factor previously. Okay, you can use limited transaction reduce. Okay, but another part here is more larger loss lah. Okay, so what happened here? Organization should apply decision control, okay, to limit the uh, attack. Okay, how to do this? More likely we can use this privilege. Okay, and then we can also use network segmentation. Okay, for this one related to network attack lah. Network, network attack. Okay, to prevent, sorry, there's a talk here. Okay, so we can use segmentation and sometimes we can use related to privilege, okay, from access control. This one access control lah, access control. Okay, related. So what we can say here, okay, we try to do some decision, okay, on how we can limiting the damage lah. Not only to prevent, okay, we also want to ensure that we can reduce the loss, the damage on any attacking. Okay, so we can either okay having exist, exploited, okay, potential loss, gain, but this one more large lah. What happen? You have to more on design control. Okay. I think this is another recycle. You can see lah in the recycle here is starting by previously identified information asset. Okay. And then we have done the rank of vulnerability. So overall, we have done here previously in chapter 8, and chapter 8 tu. Okay, chapter 8. And this part which actually developing the control is in chapter 9 lah. How we can implement, okay, what type of control we want to implement. Okay, we have 4 type, and then we can design the access control. Is educate. Okay, we have a plan, IDP. Okay, business continuity plan. We have another plan previously, disaster IDR, right? So we have to do this one. Okay. And at the end of the day, you can need to choose which one is proper or suitable for you. Is it just a step because the cost is more than the what you call the effect? Yes, so if no, if the cost is more, you have to go for another type of control. Okay, so we are going to stop for a while, maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes lah, 5 minutes is okay, right? And then we are going to see more on the what you call calculation, and also example of some kind of framework that can we use as the risk assessment. Okay, so I think we can start for a while for 5 minutes. So around 12:50, we are starting with this one, CBA. Okay, so any question? So previously, more likely you need to choose which one is suitable for implement the control. Okay, so now we stop for a while and we start with this CBA and the others lah. Okay, so see you in 5 minutes. Okay, so it's 12:50 now. Okay, so as promised, we're going to start and try to finish as early as we can lah. Okay, so in this slide actually we try to do some analysis on how we want to choose previously four type of um control by doing some feasible and cost benefit analysis for before selecting the control. So the organization must evaluate the consequence of the vulnerability and also the advantage and disadvantage on implementing any of the chosen um, control type previously. So are you ready there?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are going to see actually which one should be selected based on some relevant assessment. Okay, one of these is using this feasibility and cost benefit. Okay, so when we talk about control, not every control is first implementing. So some control may technically strong but too expensive and too difficult to maintain, or it also might disrupt the user. So therefore, we need to evaluate the control based on a set. Okay. We also try to in terms of asset, the expected loss, the cost, and even the feasibility. Is it feasible to implement this to our current incident or not? Okay, as the security mechanism. Okay, it's size. Next, related to CBA. So in CBA, they have a few components. So CBA is actually economic feasibility study. It helps to determine whether the security control is financially um, justified. We want to know if we choose this one, is it uh, affect the cost of our organization or not. So the process begin by valuing the asset. We want to know the information of the asset and estimate how the value of the loss value if the asset is compromised. So we want to get the information of the asset. We want to see the value of the loss. And uh, this one is important criteria that we need to gather before we can proceed with the cost benefit. So example can be one related to protecting our database, which containing the information of the customer, for example. So in commons we have the customer record. We have to justify because of this sensitive data. The loss may include in term of the cost, of course, recovery cost, and then is relate to the legal cost because we have this sensitive data of the customer, and also the reputational damage because we have lost the confidence by the customer, and how this can interrupt the business. So this can one of the decision we need to understand when we do the CBA. So in the CBA, there's a few terminology. So this is CBA formula. So it's having this ALE, post and also prior lah. Plus ECS. We also have this SLE and ALE. This is all the definition. ALE, okay, is actually the annual loss expectancy. So we have single, annual. So overall of the potential loss, use one associated with the most likely loss. Okay. We also have EF, the percentage loss when occur for given vulnerability exploit. So we have AV and so on. ARO is actually annual rate of occurrence. Okay. So this one is on how often the specific attack is expected. Okay. So maybe it's every 6 months, maybe once in 2 years. So it depends how it can be expected to occur. Okay, this one is pre-control. Okay, before the implement of the control. Okay, this one after the control have been placed for the certain period and so on. Okay, so this is all the formula, the terminology, and we have CBA using this formula. So before we have ALE, you have to get the SLE. Okay. Okay, so we have the calculation here of CBA. Okay, CBA need to have SLE first, and then we have prior LE and post ALE, also ACS lah. Okay. So example, okay, this one they already have given you the value of AV and EF lah. So this one they can calculate SLE directly. Okay. So example, we have website. Okay, we have value of 1 million because of some sabotage and vandalism scenario. Effect will be 10%. So we can calculate that the SLE loss is 100,000. So then from SLE you can calculate ARO. No. ARO needed because we want to get the ALE. Okay. So the next scenario is mentioned that the success act that sabotage occur once every 2 years. So every 2 years means that every 1 year only 0.5 lah. 0.5. Okay, so you can say 0.5. This one is okay, how can be expected occur lah. Okay, every 2 years. So bagi dulu lah. So every 2 years, right? So it can be 0.5. So then you can have ALE. So ALE is only 500. Okay, so this is one example. But they also maybe ask you prior, this is prior. What is post? There might be some scenario on post. Okay, so then they also ask you to get the CBE. Okay. Okay, this is example. Maybe the next we also have this example later this month. Okay, so maybe we go for this safeguard first. Okay, cause of safeguard or when we implement the defense mechanism. Okay, so what we can say, the safeguard is not only purchase price, okay, not only the cost of the money. So it also includes something related to development cost, okay, acquisition cost, the hardware, okay, service training, okay, they are just related to develop the system, okay. So factor affected this one, development, acquisition, okay, training fee, okay, cost of implementation, okay, how you can implement this, you need to have the server, domain and so on, okay. When you have the system, how you can maintain this the system and so on. So these all related to the cost. not only the purchase, we buy the system, okay, something related to money, okay. So the second component of CBA is benefit. Okay, so what is benefit? So benefit is actually a control is value of loss prevented. Okay, so we want to know value of the control uh, after the to prevent the loss. Okay, so this is actually usually as expressed through the ALE. Okay, so how we can measure the benefit? Usually you use this one, annual loss expectancy. Okay. Okay, so the goal of the benefit is to determine whether the reduction of expected loss is greater than cost of control. So we want to know, okay, doing the reduction, okay, is it better compared to the cost of the control? So this one lah, okay. For example, okay, so we have a control reduce loss, okay, 100. So previously we have 100, right? 100, 100. Okay. Now we reduce to 300, okay, 100K. And then we reduce, okay, the increment of this control, we reduce only to 300. Okay, to implement this control. So at the end of the day, we can say we have consider save of 7K loss lah. Okay, so we have to get this value and then we can decide, okay, if we can save 70% compared to implement the others, so we can take this one lah as the annual prevention. Okay, so the last component of CBA is asset valuation. Okay, asset valuation is the assessing the financial value of information asset. Okay, so this is one of the difficult tasks because we know information value is differ from one organization to some others organization. Okay, so not every financial value is similar or static for all organization. Okay, so it's a bit difficult to measure this asset value lah. Okay, for example, we have student database in university. This is more important to our university compared to others organization. Okay, so we can say student database may be highly valuable, okay, to university compared to others company lah. Maybe others company we don't they more expected to protect their customer, for example in e-commerce, right? So their value asset is customer data. Okay, so asset value also included, okay, what is asset value also included okay, to estimate the value, we have to include the design, the development, cost, installation, okay, all this one lah. So we have to take into account until we have also legal. Legal also we have to take into account lah, legal exposure. Okay. So this is asset. So asset are differ from one organization to another organization. So different company have different value of asset. So in term of asset, okay, we I just mentioned the database, right? So they have a few component, okay, of asset. Okay, asset can have value to owner, okay, intellectual IP, advisory, Okay, is it the asset is important? Okay, this your database is important to this kind of attackers lah. Your able attackers, this one attackers, yeah. Okay, maybe by attack this database, they can gain your value asset. Okay, so using this asset, maybe your customer information, the attackers might sell the data. So this actually for the database of the customer information is not only important for owner, but also important to uh, the attacker. So this might be one of the crucial information that you need to what you call protect. Okay. So you can say value implement by cost of replacing, okay, provide the information, okay, acquire the information. So this is component of the value. Okay. So before we go to the valuing the asset, okay, we have to do some what you call assessment, okay, answering some question here. So for example, how much the cost to create the or acquire the information, okay, acquire the asset. Say then much will the cost recreate or recover. Okay, so then you can see lah if the data is not sensitive, but you have to take like a lot of money to recover, it's okay for you to like accept for example previously. Okay, so this is some example of question that you can trigger, okay, to your evaluation. So words to organization, words to competition like we have here. Okay, is it this value for both to the takers and the owner lah, okay, the organization. It's Azan here. Can we stop for a while? Maybe for 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Azan is done. Okay, so finish. So we will continue again. Okay, so before this we have seen all the CBA component lah. Okay, we have go through the CBA cost, and then we have benefit, and then the asset valuation. Okay, so now when we want to do the decision, okay, on this control, okay, we do the CBA, and we also need to answer or do some analysis on this asset valuation by answering this some question here. Okay, so it's actually related to the cost or the financial lah, financial. Okay, mostly the cost of maintaining, also not only purchasing the money, the tools or software, or you have to ensure that after doing this, so how many costs to maintain again, and of course, okay, is it related to the information or asset that you want to protect is worth to the organization, even to the competitor. Okay, so at the end of the question here, okay, we can say this question help, okay, making the valuation more realistic. Okay, we when we have the asset intangible, means that we cannot value in money, right? Intangible, we can say like previously we have how to determine like develop, design, maintain, integrated, like this one, right? This one, okay, the component can be something that intangible, so we cannot see in term of the value of the money lah. Okay, so this can be something related to coding, okay, the code, the time, okay, taking to make the code to develop the system. Is it related to your data, like this one, right? The worth of data to the company and competition, and even to the company reputation. So this must be taken into account. Okay. So potential loss, next is how, okay, when we do the analysis, we can say the this TBA, okay, related to potential loss. Okay, so it's referred to the financial impact of the threat exploration of your vulnerability. Okay, so when we do this potential loss, okay, the organizations should ask a few other questions here. So like what loss could occur? What cost to recover? Okay, is it what the single loss can be accepted or not? So this is another related question in term of financial loss, okay, or financial impact lah. Okay, for example, we have related attack on ransomware. Okay, in ransomware, more likely they are attack on data. Okay, so we have to answer the question. Okay, how much money to get the data or recover the data? Okay, is it related to downtime of your system or business operation? So how about the effect on the customer, legal fee, and also the reputational damage? Okay, so this slide, okay, mention or remind us that the loss are often broader than the technical repair cost. Okay, not only we cover the asset we have in terms of the physical asset, but also the other asset, intangible asset we have to recover. Okay, so that's what we have in potential loss. Okay, when we want to decide, okay, we have to go through a lot of question, okay, included on the financial, your words of recovering, okay, the intangible effect, okay, like the value of the data, value of the customer privacy damage and so on. Okay, so that's what we have to take into account. Okay, so previously in the calculation, okay, we have a few formula, right, before we can calculate the CBA. So first we has to calculate the SLE. So actually this is more step by step, okay, calculating the CBA. Okay, so first we have single loss expectancy, the SLE. So this one is actually value associated with the single successful attack, in one attack lah, more likely. And we have this formula, okay, asset value, AV, as exposure factor. So previously we have the value, like some value, the number lah, number of asset, and then the damage, more likely percentage. For example, we have 20% damage. So we can calculate lah. So at the end of the day, the damage is 1,000K. Okay, 100K. So doing this actually helping management, okay, that the financial effect on one incident. Okay, what the effect of the money lah on the financial for one incident. For example, you have exposed to 3 incidents, so you have to calculate each of these incident SLE. Okay, and then we have another calculation because CBA is ALE post minus prior minus post, right? So we have to calculate ARO also. So previously we have SLE. So this one more to annual rate of occurrence. Okay. So for example, okay, like previously we have like one attack, in 2 years lah, in 2 years. Okay, so means 1 over, so we have 0.5, for example, right? So later you can calculate ALE, previously 100K multiplied by 0.5. Okay, so then you have around 50K lah. Okay, so this is example of calculating ARO. So then you have to get, okay, prior, this one before, prior, and also post. This one lah. So CBA determine whether or not the control alternative is worth it associated cost. Okay, so we have to calculate the before and after safeguard. So before can be like decide whether the control word to buy or deploying, okay, to the current attack. Okay, after implementation means that help to evaluate whether the control actually reduce the expected risk. Okay, and then it is important because, okay, calculating this, okay, for some control it may look good in the paper, but in the real practice is not perform well. So we have to do the prior and also the post. So we predict this is good, okay, control, but we have to expect, okay, what the real cases happen. So we have to do the post calculation here. Okay. So this is the formula. Okay, we have a CBA. Previously we have, okay, prior ALE and also loss. So this one before the implementation and also after implementation, and we also have minus, right? Minus ASC here. Annual cost of the safeguard. So this is the whole formula of CBA. But before we have CBA, we have ARO. So SLE minus what is it? Multiply by ARO. Okay, this one lah. Okay. So this is some example. You have to do some practice maybe in this calculation. Okay, so for example, we have already, okay, without doing some calculations, some example might already ask or tell you the incident SLE lah per incident. This one already calculated, and then ARO also, okay, before we have 1 per in 6 years, so you just 1/6 and then you get the value. This one lah, this one already given. Okay, no need to have the AV multiplied by the percentage. Is it effect, right? Effect. Okay, so this one already given. Okay, and then you can calculate the prior. Okay, prior means that SLE multiplied by R2. So you have this one. Okay, so this information you already getting the value of ACS. So ACS after fire, the installation of safeguard cost is this part. You have to ni lah, cost of annual safeguard. Okay, so this one they already implement after 5 years, and this is the value. Okay, and then frequency of occurrence now. Okay, before we have 1/6, now we have 1/8. So you can calculate this value ARO, ALE, ARO post here. Okay, so given 0.125. So now you can calculate post ARO. Yes, if one this one lah, ARO current, and then you have the value of this value. So now you can calculate CBA. Okay, CBA, we have this value, we have this value, this value. Okay, so 1266 minus 9 by 0 minus 9800. Okay, so at the end of the day, you have minus value. So what we can say? Okay, they are not worth of implement this what you call ni lah, control. Okay, so they worth to worth the cost list? No, the aim of the investment or decision this one lah. So this is because the company suffer minus here. Suffer approximately around 6,000 for the control. So it's not worth to take this kind of safeguard. So other possible security software attack protection is required. So this one lah, no need. Okay. So that's an example. Okay, you are given some like we can say case study, and you have to go through and see what is information that you can have from the information. Okay, try to do this ni lah, exercise. Okay, so next we are having the thing related to feasibility method. Okay, feasibility means that we try to examine whether proposed controls support the organization operation here. Okay. want to know, is it worth to or it support the operation? Okay, so operational first, we have a few. Okay, organization, operational, and then technical feasibility and political feasibility. Okay, so first is related to organization. Okay, how well the proposed information security alternative will contribute to organization operation. And then we also have in terms of operational. Okay, this one we try to examine whether the user, the management will accept the control. For example, if we implement some very strict password policy, okay, so it's might good for operational, good for technical, but for operational, for user, uh, usually it's not feasible because sometimes the user consistently forget the password, or this might ask them to write down this password, right? So it's not possible, for example. Okay, so what, at the end of the day, we want to ensure that feasibility can ensure the control are practical, not only technically correct. So not you implement a lot of layer of multiple MFA, right? But it's not feasible to the user. So it's not actually one of the feasible method lah to choose from this. So next, related to technical and political feasibility. So in terms of technical, it asks whether the organization has or can acquire technology needed to implement the control. Okay. Is it feasible if we bought this 1,000 server for small company, and the company doesn't have skill operator or skill technical person lah to control this, for example. So is it worth to implement or to invest to this server? So you have to ask, is it worth if you go for third party and so on. Okay, so that's the feasibility lah on technical feasibility. And last one, we have actually political feasibility. Okay, consider the relationship, the power, authority, okay, the stakeholder. So this is the environment, the company environment. Okay, for example, okay, we have technical team or security team recommend the monitoring, okay, employee activity. For example, we want to know all the network log on this employee. But HR, legal or management may have some concern. So we have to make sure that all the party are uh, agree lah on that particular monitoring. Okay. So at the end of the day, we can say the successful risk control require technical capability and also both stakeholder agreement. So not only we want to implement, but not approved by the authorities, okay, or stakeholder. So the others, okay, so that's a four type of feasibility, but we have others alternative, okay, for the feasibility analysis here. Okay, like organization can also use benchmarking, okay, due diligence and due caring. Okay, benchmarking is comparing the organization with similar organization or recognized standard. Okay, and then due care here means acting responsibly to some of your monitoring or your what you call the security mechanism. Due diligence means taking the reasonable step, okay, to investigate the risk. Due diligence, do some analysis, right, on the risk. We have also related to business, okay, business practice, some line gold standard, okay, doing some reference government recommendation. Okay, we have a few related okay, ISO, PDPA, sorry, okay, Private Data Privacy Act, okay, Private Data Act lah, okay. And also we have a minimum standard, okay. What the definition of the minimum, a certain level of security can be implemented on your organization. So instead of we have the four type, okay, feasibility, we can try to this alternative feasibility analysis. Okay, at the end of the day, what actually how organization prefer to implement this standard usually or control. Okay, usually organization prefer to have the straightforward method for implementation. Okay, but actually in terms of the technical, okay, or security structure, architecture, okay, we have to go beyond implementing one control to one vulnerability. So it's better approach to implement, to design layered security that address risk, okay, multiple risks across the organization. So we have to have layered. Okay. Okay, for example, we have a few layer like identity management, network segment, monitoring, backup. So all this can be analyze and what layer of defense that you can implement lah on your organization. Okay, so when we do the measurement, okay, we have qualitative and also quantitative. Quali and also quanti lah. What is quali? What is quanti? Okay, quali more to actual value or estimation. Okay, what we have in terms of quanti that we know exact value of estimation. So something related to cost, okay, number of currency, financial loss. So the others, okay, we have qualitative. So for quantitative, sometimes it's difficult, okay, to assign exact value for information asset. So for example, people, how we want to rate this. So that's why we have also introduced the qualitative assessment. So this one is using the scale. Okay, like we have low, medium, high scale. Okay, so the common practice maybe we use to have hybrid assessment. Okay, by combining both quali and quanti, okay, this can actually try to reduce the ambiguity and avoid, okay, the difficulty of exact assessment. Okay, in practice, more likely we have both lah, this one. Okay, so actually that's what we have in CPA, do the feasible analysis and so on. And now we are moving into some risk management approach, or we can say the framework can be used in our risk management. Okay, so one of the famous approach we use or method we can implement is Octave, operational, critical, threat, asset, and vulnerability, okay, evaluation. So this is the short form lah. So what is this Octave? Okay, this is actually essential component of comprehensive. Okay, we have systematic, content driven, and also self-directed. So means that the organization evaluate the risk based on its own business environment. Okay, so what is critical asset they have and what operational priorities they need to take care or focus on. So because of the nature of different organization have different risks, so it is essential. This one is flexible lah to use on different organization domain. Okay. So let's see what is actually octave method. Okay, so octave method is some method of risk management that help organization to make protection decision, okay, based on the risk of CIA. Okay, there is something like decision making method, okay, based on CIA. This one CIA. CIA. So this is important because business unit, okay, understand, okay, we want to encourage the business unit and IT department work together because they have their own perspective, like business unit understand the value and use of information asset, but IT department or unit understand the technical vulnerability and control. So they have to work together to ensure that they can make a better decision. Okay. So this can use for effective management, risk management for both, okay, perspective lah, both information security and also management unit, okay, perspective. So actually Octave have three version. Okay, they have Octave original, and then S, this is designed for smaller organization, and also Allegro lah. This one for streamlined approach for information security and assurance. Okay, so what okay, from these three, so it is important for organization to choose, okay, risk assessment method suitable for their risk, company size, and also complexity of their business operation, and also resources they have lah, the asset, okay, from their company. So if they have a larger company which is more than 300 user, is usually can use the original Octave. So if you have small, choose this one. This one for like basic, like we have a block of information security assessment. Okay. So we are going to see different, okay, between these three version. Okay, first the Allegro, sorry. Okay, so we in Allegro they have 8 step. Okay, first establish what we have seen in previous chapter and earliest of this chapter is actually implemented in this Octave method lah. Okay, for example, they try starting with the establish the risk management criteria, develop the information asset profile. Okay, we have gathered all the asset and then identify information asset container. Okay, and then identify the areas concern, threat. Okay, then we have a threat. So calculate the identity the risk, analyze the risk, then select the or choose which type of mitigation lah they can be used on their control. Okay, so this actually have been previously explained. Okay, so actually they have 4 phases. Okay, establish, profile the asset, identify the threats, and then risk mitigation process. Okay, so at the end of the day, they can have the which selection or type of control they can select. Okay, for Octave and Octave S, actually they are different in terms of the size of organization lah. Okay, so in organization S is smaller. Okay, this one is okay, smaller lah compared to Octave. Okay, 100, less than 100 user. So this one, when we have this Octave, is more structured and use fill in the blank approach. Okay, we have fill in the blank approach rather than we have a essay style or long report. Okay, So it's require less security expertise, and because of this small analysis team. Okay, we have a security team or analysis team in the small company is less compared to the big company. So doing this fill in the blank, so it is easier to start, and then for organization do not have a large company with large team, so it's more feasible, okay, for these small companies to start their risk assessment management. Okay, so that or that, we have another others method or approach. For example, we have this from Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft also have their own risk management approach. Okay, they have this one, okay, used for Microsoft with 4 phases of information security risk management. Okay, so they start with assessing the risk. Okay, actually what they have in the phases is actually also reflecting on 10 process or procedure that we have in previous chapter. Okay, so for example, for this 4 phases is have assessing the control, conduct the decision support. Okay, then after they decide, implement, and then they do the measurement. So for first, okay, phases assessing the risk, okay, actually is identify and prioritize the risk. So which is also related to the earliest part in our chapter 8, okay, identify and prioritize the risk, right? So in this area, they do some gathering of data, okay, risk data, okay, data planning, and then risk data, gathering risk data and prioritize data. So which actually have been discussed in our previous chapter. Okay, so you can see lah, gathering data, then do the risk assessment, and then do the prioritize of the risk. So in second phase is related to conducting the decision support. Okay, the organization have identified and evaluate available control. So it define the function requirement, and then select the possible control. Okay, so we have feasibility previously, and then they try to select which is feasible for this situation, and then they can do like review whether the proposed solution meet the requirement or not. Okay, for example, if the risk if in the incident is unauthorized access, okay, so the requirement may include the stronger authentication, okay, and they need to have the log of the access, okay, then they can also implement some access control type lah, maybe role based and so on. So they have the risk, and then they have a control, what solution they have uh, can be implemented into the access unauthorized access incident. Okay, so then they can also review lah, is it this all countermeasure best enough, okay, to suit their business ni lah, cost and so on. And then we have the third phase here. Okay, so the third phase, sorry, okay, we have another, this one, until review, and then estimate the risk, still in phase 2. Okay, estimate the risk, okay, estimate solution cost. So previously we have CBA, okay, and this one CBA lah, okay, become important. And okay, then at the end of the day, we have this select mitigation strategy. So should be practical. Okay, like I mentioned previously, if we have a strong technical mitigation but it's not feasible to the user, you have to take another way lah. Okay, so it also have to be more cost effective. okay, which align with the organization priorities. So this is decision support. Ya kan? So okay, sorry, tengok balik Okay, phase 1, assessing the risk. Okay, this one, planning, gather and prioritize. And then conduct decision support. So we have defined functional requirement, possible control solution, review solution, and then estimate the risk reduction, estimate solution cost, and select mitigation strategy. So then we are going to have the third phase is implementing the control. So after we have all the decision, okay, this is related to implementing or deploy the selected control. So in this control, which actually have a holistic approach, which involving the people, process, technology, on the control. For example, implementing multi-factor authentication require technology, user training, and also help desk support. Okay, so organized by defend in depth. Okay, organized in then because no single control can protect everything. So you have to make sure that you implement suitable control on each of the asset lah or vulnerability. And the this one the last sorry. For the last phases on Microsoft asset control, risk management, they have measuring the program effectiveness. After control are implemented, so we have to ensure that the organization implement the effective measurement. Okay, so they can implement using this one lah. The assessment can be developed risk scoreboard for easier for management to see the risk, and then measure the program effectiveness. This one can use the evaluation the risk program for opportunity to improve. So for example, we have phishing training implemented. And then we know that either after this training done to the user, right? So are they still doing inappropriate, like clicking the unknown apa click unknown link and so on? Are they doing the reporting? And so on. So this is everything. So they can also use this scoreboard lah, this scoreboard here. So Microsoft risk management approach cycle here. So they are actually continuous cycle. Not in one. So implement and then at once and no monitoring, right? So in Microsoft, they are keep updating. The is starting with risk assessment, conducting support, decision support, implementing the control, measuring the program, and then keep updating. So if something need to be updated, they will go through and do in the any like possible attack assessment can be done, assessed, and then update. If they need update the procedure and so on, or they need to change to another control and so on. So then we have FAIR framework. FAIR is actually factor analysis of information risk. Okay, so this framework have the taxonomy, okay, taxonomy standard risk, okay, terminology, and then we have framework. Okay, framework for establish the data management scale, computational engine, calculation risk. So whatever we have in previous also implemented in this framework. Okay. Last we have analysis on complex scenario. So this one, okay, they are dividing. Actually, they have 10 procedure or phases. Then they dividing into 4 stage, 10 step, and then they are dividing into uh, 4 stage. Okay, the first 2 stage here include of 10 what you call 7 step. Okay, identified like previously we have identified the risk. Okay, identified the threat. Okay, and then they evaluate the loss. Okay, they can use some others calculation here. Okay, they have their own calculation. Like we have estimate the probability threat frequency, event frequency, and do calculation on TCAP, CS, contour strength, okay, vulnerability, and also a loss event frequency. So previously we have CVA and so on. Okay, and then they do the third stage, evaluating the loss magnitude, probable, 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 probable ke. So loss magnitude PLM lah. So this one, okay, after they do the calculation, they can estimate, okay, the worst case loss, probable loss. Okay, at the end of the step, okay, we have the what you call derive and articulate risk. So this one is more likely to have communicate the risk into the organization. So the key point of FAIR is encourage the structure explanation on how this was derived, okay, making the risk communication clearly to the management. So this is okay, another framework lah, the risk, loss of event frequency, and also probable loss magnitude PLM. So they have a few step here. Vulnerability, threat, effect, frequency, and so on. Okay, we have in this side probably primary loss factor, secondary loss factor, and do I discuss others calculation here. Okay. So moving into, I think the second last procedure or method, we have ISO 275. Okay, this is related to information security risk management using ISO. For ISO lah, provided by ISO. Okay, previously we have 2001 and 2002. Okay, so this one related to risk management. Okay, so the main purpose is actually to guide how information security are assessed, threat, accept, communicate, and maintain and review. So you can go through 2000 to 7005. Okay. So in similar to previous methods, okay, we have a few steps for ISO 27005. Okay. So this one, they have 5 stages, okay, like risk assessment, threat, risk treatment, okay, so how we can treat the risk. Okay, and then we have acceptance, communication, and monitoring. So it is important again, okay, for risk management, not only calculation. So it also involve of communication. Okay, so we not only try to calculate the loss and so on, right? So we need also to have the acceptance, to have the approval from the management or the governments lah. Okay. So the idea of this standardization to differ, you can say, okay, after a few, okay, like this one, right? Communicate, okay, and then we have to review because some what we have in last year is no longer acceptable lah on current. So we have to have a few review process. Okay, so we can say we have uh, updated to current trend. Okay, and also we might also have new regulator. Okay, for some time you develop a new system or system change, so you have to go monitoring and review again. Okay, so this is the methodology. Okay, we have five step. 1, 2. Okay, in second here, identify the risk threat, which is similar to the process of in the chapter 8. Okay, choose which one? Okay, assess the risk, and then we have scale. Okay, and fourth here, collect and analyze the outcome. So we want to get the what you call control. Okay, analysis and select the control. So sufficient information for security is yes, to the result ni lah, compare the interpretable result. If no, you start again. Okay, so this is actually this one is ENISA. Okay, ENISA is from EU. EU is European Union lah. Okay, so European country mostly use this ENISA, but Malaysian can also use this ISO 27005. Okay, what is actually interpretable approach here? Okay, is actually using a few level. Okay, okay, that map the attacker scenario, asset threats. Okay, asset, the threat, the outcome. Okay, into more interoperable risk management approach. Means that we have different different threat, we have to manage it properly lah on which control need for that threat. Okay, so different organization may use different method, but they still need a common way to communicate the risk result, yeah, especially across the sector and the country. So this is how we want to have the interoperable across the sector, across the department, for example, or even they can use in different sector. For example, when you working with bank, maybe you have to communicate with government. So you have to make sure that the what you call, the standard are met, okay, between the banking and also the government sector. So that's interoperable. Okay. Okay, so actually we have done the chapter 9. Okay, what we have in chapter 9, I will actually go dulu dah. Okay, so actually what we have in chapter 9 is actually continuity from the previous chapter. Okay, previously we have identify, prioritize, categorize, and this chapter is more to implement the control. So we have a category of control. Okay, we have 4 category of control. Okay, and then we also done feasibility studies. Okay, is it feasible to implement? Okay, is it too technical or it's loose the what you call in terms of the operationable and so on. Okay, and then we have CBA. Okay, calculation. Okay, risk management discussion point. Okay, on residual risk, risk appetite. Okay, we have to appetite, appetite lah, okay, or we can also have residual, okay. Recommended risk control practice, okay, which one you have to select, okay, based on the feasibility, cost benefit, because we want to ensure that when we do the calculation, is it in the others years is still uh, accepted for the cost, okay. And also discuss a few risk management method, okay. We have Octave, okay. Each of these Microsoft, FAIR, ISO, and ISAS. Each of these actually suit to all 10 layer in our risk management step that we discussed from chapter 8 until chapter 9. Okay. So actually this is the last chapter of our course. Okay. So security is our world. So what we can say here, so cybersecurity is broader than the tool and technical defense. Okay, we have to include some related to awareness, education, training, initiative, and also protection. So this awareness, for example, help user understand the threat. Okay, education can have deeper knowledge. Okay, training and development can upgrade the practical skill. Okay, initiative create the organizational action. Okay, okay, how we can ensure that what we propose implement properly and keep review. Okay, production, okay, this one protection actually apply control to reduce the risk. So this element is actually overall that can support security environment. Security environment. So this is actually the last chapter, and to conclude, what can we can say, risk management is about making the information decision. Okay. So we can say also organization can eliminate the risk, reduce the risk, but we cannot have zero risk. Okay. So what we can do, we can understand, prioritize, treat, monitor, and communicate this risk management to all department, especially to the managerial department or governance. Okay. So as in working in the security professional, actually not only okay, you can not only like recommended the technical control, okay, but you have to justify, okay, for business, operational, and also legal and risk-based reasoning. So not only rigid to technical, but you have to go through, okay, for in terms of business continuity, how feasibility on the operational, okay, how its effect to the legal, and also the risk on using this. Okay. So that's all for this chapter and the other chapter. So what we have discussed actually related to your group project. Okay. Remember, we have to present the, you have to present lah, you have to present the group, okay, project, and also come up with the report. Okay. So the tentative date is next week lah, 13. So I will discuss again with Dr. Aniza, since Dr. Aniza have something to do in that date. So maybe she join online. Okay. So any question before I end the session? And of course, can thank you for joining me today and also the others day. Okay, physically and online lah. So any question?
The final exam, chapter 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. The chapter that not including I think starting from no 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, the remain chapter lah with not included in your midterm. Okay, is it okay?
Yeah, okay, doctor. Thank you.
Okay, so any more question? If no more question, thank you and hope you can do your project on your group lah. So that's all for today. Thank you to stay with me until 2 p.m. today. So all the best for you. Don't forget to submit the ni lah report letter. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum and good
Thank you,
afternoon.
doctor.
Goodbye. Thank you. Ya Allah.